Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. And as you would have seen from the title of today's video, today we are taking another look at the Culiau Customizer, this tool here. So you'll remember last time we did this, I just used the tool and engraved on a chopping board. There were a lot of questions in that video to do with this tool. So this time, what we're going to do is go through and answer some of those questions. So I've got a load of them written down. We're going to go through and I'm going to try basically and test out your questions and answer as many as I can. I've been in contact with Culiau as well to get some responses on some of the questions. But yeah, let's get stuck in and hopefully at the end I'll create a little piece with the tool as well. Okay, so let's start with the most basic question that people ask me. This is everything that came with the set. We've got the tool, we've got the box, we've got a few bits in this box as well, if I can get it open. So we've got charging cable, we've got a little Allen hex key to open and close this little nut here that secures the bits into place. We've got these burr pieces and we've got some diamond pieces, there we go. And then I was also sent this pack of 30 diamond pieces as well. So the question was, does this tool take standard Dremel pieces? And that's where there's good news and bad news. So, let's start with the bad news. Bad news is it doesn't take standard Dremel pieces, not as it is anyway. So a standard Dremel piece is 0.3 to 0.34 millimeters. And actually, I've got this whole kit here. So this is an off-brand kit of Dremel pieces, rotary tool pieces. I've got diamond pieces in here, I've got clamps, I've got flywheels and sanding and all sorts in here, including some drill pieces as well. Most of those, I would say 99.9% of those will not fit this tool as it is. But Culiau do sell an attachment for this because all of these tools are a 2.35 millimeter shank. That's the part that goes in the end and is secured. Culiau sell an adapter that turns the 2.35 millimeter shank into a 0.3 to 0.34 millimeter shank. So that is for standard Dremel pieces. So that means you'll be able to use your standing drums and flywheels and carve wheels and all sorts. So as it comes, no, it doesn't say Dremel pieces, but Culiau do an attachment that lets you use standard Dremel pieces. Second question that people asked me was, what is the difference between a burr and a diamond bit? So there we go, I've just released all of the burrs. I'll put all that back in a second. Here is a couple of the diamond bits. Okay, so a burr is like this, and I'm not sure how close I can get it, but can you see? It's almost like a little drill in that it has grooves in it. And as that spins, those grooves are what will remove the material. So these are quite good for making holes and making larger gouges, particularly the flat ones. I quite like using those. These are the diamond bits, and you can see they're kind of like sandpaper, but it's actually the metal that is like the sandpaper, and that is a diamond end bit. I believe it's made with diamond dust on the end, or it's impressed with diamond dust, and they are very good for engraving, and that's obviously what this tool is used for mostly. So that is why I have this set of 30 diamond bits. I just take the lid off again, there we are. You can see we've got all different shapes and sizes, and using these is like picking a good pen tip. You know, sometimes it can take a while to find one that really works for you. I quite like this round one, but also like this kind of pear-shaped pointed one. The flat ones can be quite useful as well. Okay, so those are the questions that were received regarding the actual tool itself. You can see it also comes with a standard USB-C charging cable, and that just plugs into the bottom here. A full charge on this will give you 2 hours of continuous use, so you can have the motor running for a full 2 hours and it will just keep going. In terms of the tool itself, so it's got 3 gears, and it starts on the highest and then steps down. Some tools start with the lowest and step up, but I quite like starting on the highest and stepping down. The revs per minute on this, or rotations per minute, is ranges from 5,000 to 25,000 RPM, so it's pretty good. Now, in terms of accessibility, one of you asked about actually using the tool and the vibrations in the hand. So you can see it's not that loud. It's actually quite a quiet tool. So this is for someone with carpal tunnel syndrome. You've got a nice grip on here, and the person was asking about basically the vibrations and how long you could realistically hold it before feeling it in the joints. Now, this is going to be different for different people, I understand. I do have some wrist issues that occasionally gives me a tremor. I can happily use this for over an hour and be absolutely fine. I do start to get a little bit of numbness in my thumb just from pressing down, but honestly it's much less than most power tools that I've used, certainly less than a Dremel or off-brand Dremels. I think the fact that it is cordless as well means that it's not, I think when you've got a cord, let me just demonstrate if I plug this in. So when you have a corded device, the tendency is for the cord to pull, and there's extra resistance there. Not having a cord means that it's fully free and mobile. So actually, I think it's going to be much better for someone that does have carpal tunnel syndrome. But if you know someone that's got one of these, go and give it a try first, and then decide whether you want to actually use it. Okay, next question was about materials. So lots of you asking, can it be used on this? Can it be used on that? Can it be used on plastic, wood, metal, all these kinds of things? So I have a bunch of stuff to test it out on, including this case itself, because this is a nice hard plastic. Where should we start? So I did mention, let me just sort these pieces out. I did mention in the last video that this would be a very useful tool for me for polymer clay, for kind of smoothing out polymer clay and engraving on polymer clay. So I have freshly baked a blob of Super Sculpey, and that's nice and hard now. We also have the hard plastic here, as I've said. We've got some wood with this lolly stick. We also have, let me try and get this lid back in. I'll do it later. We also have a stone, we have seashells, we have a piece of quartz, we have some glass, we have metal of this sharpener as well. So I think that's covering a lot, but I know that there are so many other things that we could potentially engrave. Now, I'm going to show you something very quickly. So I'm going to put in one of these burr pieces. I'm going to put in this circular burr into here. And let's just tighten this up quickly. I do wish in the pack they sent more than one Allen key, because I feel like I'm going to lose that at some point. So, burr, piece of wood, yeah, that engraves nice and easy. And you can kind of hear the sound that comes from it as well. It's not overly loud. However, something like glass, nothing. Not even scratching the surface on the glass. And that's because this piece is not designed for that. However, the diamond ones will pretty much go on any tool. So I think I'm going to focus mainly on the diamond ones today. So softer materials like the wood, the shell, polymer clay, the burrs will definitely work, but let's try the diamond pieces for today's video. So I think these are the two that come with it, but I think I'm going to dig into this nice pack of 30, take out this piece here, which is like a tear shape, and let's use this because this one I can get a nice side piece, or I can get a nice point on the end as well. So you see we've already gone through wood, and actually let's answer another question while we're doing this, which is, so I wanted to hear the sound when I was pressing hard into a material, so that they can gauge the motor on it. So here we go. Nice and light. Harder, much harder, really pushing hard. There we go. So I hope that's answered that question, and you can see it's made a really clean mark on here. So we can end of the tool, really nice lines, side of the tool, a little bit more. It really does shift material quite nicely. One other thing you can do with these is to go into the edge of things as well. Just going back and forth into the edge of this popsicle stick, lolly stick, whatever you want to call it. There you go, it really does cut in quite nicely. I'm just going to clean up those loose bits there. Round off pieces. There we go, got a nice round edge on that part now. Okay, so wood, yes, absolutely. What next? Let's go on to a shell. So this is just a seashell from Llandudno. From a recent trip. It's the one that's chipped. I love collecting seashells. I haven't cleaned this or anything. Yeah, that goes through really nicely. It really does cut into the edge. On the inside maybe you'll be able to see a little bit clearer. Yeah, so just like the wood, maybe a little bit harder. I think it's more akin to the acacia wood that we use. You know what? I might swap out the piece. Let's go for the round ball. I quite like the ball one as well, just for a bit of variety. And you really don't have to loosen this bolt very much at all to get the piece out. It's nice and secure. Half a turn and it's back in. Okay, so let's try the polymer clay. I mean, that's really shifting. That's again just as easy as the wood. So I must say I am wearing face protection while I'm doing this as well, just because of all the dust that it kicks up. There are some things that you should definitely be wearing face protection for, namely this. Should also probably be wearing hand protection. I'm not going to do that today because it can be very, very small amounts. So yeah, it goes into polymer clay really, really extremely well, actually. Let's just see if I can. There we go, you can see that makes a really nice little hole. I think actually with a drill attachment you'd probably be able to go through all of these really nicely. I've got another shell here. This is an oyster shell, you can see it's still covered in sand. Let's see if I can smooth out some of the inside of this. And it really does shift material, and you can just see how much dust is in there. So another thing to note about this hobby, it's very dusty. There we go. Okay, so yes, shells, definitively yes. So this is a piece of sea quartz again from a trip to Llandudno. So I'm just going to Again, quartz is a pretty hard material, but that is definitely engraving on there as well. Very nice to see. Rock, I feel like they were getting harder. Let's instead, we'll go to plastic. The loud noises because I'm holding it against the table and because it's a box. I go to a lower setting. Yeah, so that's absolutely no problem there, engraving on that. Also got this rock. You can see from the dust that this is going through nicely. See if I can make a little indentation in this. Yeah. It's covered in the dust from it, but it's absolutely a little hole in there. So that definitely works. Last one I'm going to try is just a glass. This is one of the ones I use for paint water. I think it's clear to see that is a definitive yes, it will engrave on glass as well. So that's all of the questions about materials, about the tool itself. I've actually got over to the side here this clear acrylic sheet in a little suspended thing, which I'd like to engrave on as well. But I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do on this. Let me have a think and I will come back to you. Yes, I know it may be predictable, but you can't be a little skull, can you? And this was just too cute not to do. So all I'm doing here is a very simple graphic design. Everything that's shaded in is going to be shaded with the tool. Everything that's not shaded in, not shaded with the tool. And I'm just going to outline first. So that's all I'm doing now. Just going around with the this is the ball stylus one, and just outlining everything and trying to get it as smooth as I can with my shaky hands using a shaky tool. But I think it works out pretty well. So once I've got the outlining, I can take away the picture and then I just need to go in. I'm just going backwards and forth, and basically it's like you would with a coloured pencil and just filling in between the lines. So this is a really good point for me to say that there is a code down below if you'd like to buy anything from the Culiau website. You can get 15% off. The code is just Sean, S-E-A-N, Sean. No numbers, nothing else, just Sean. And yes, I do get a small amount back from that, and it just goes towards supporting this channel. And those of you that have done that so far have been amazing. Thank you very much. Your support has been invaluable. So much so that actually there will be some changes coming to the channel very soon because of that. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. There will also be other ways to support the channel in the future, but right now, as I say, any support is very welcome. This project was actually super quick. Obviously I've sped this up, but it was really quick. I think it took like 10 minutes total, if that, and then I've ended up with this really cool little thing that you'll see at the end. So I'm going to leave the rest of the time lapse to keep going. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Links to all of that are down below, and I will catch you at the end. Okay, so here we are all finished, and yes, it's pretty hard to see, but if I slide something dark behind it, there we go, not bad. So once I went through all in one direction, I just did the same again in the opposite direction. It's like a cross-hatching effect, and it just kind of smoothed it all out a little bit. I could have spent much more time on this and got it really smooth, I think, but as proof of concept, I really like this, and actually, I have behind me, you see at the front and the end of the video, my little Uncle Frog face lit up sign. If you put a light behind this, it would catch it really, really well. So I'm really pleased with this project, and I'm really pleased with this tool. Thank you for joining me today. I really hope that's answered any of the questions you have about the Culiau Customizer. If you do have any more questions, feel free to drop them down below in a comment, or follow me on Instagram and message me there. Take the time while you're there to subscribe to the channel. We are fast approaching 1,000 subscribers, where I'll be doing a massive giveaway, which I'm very excited about. But as always, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.